What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. Welcome to the channel where you subscribe to get daily updates every single day on Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. If you have not subscribed yet, definitely consider subscribing to the channel to keep updated daily. Also, I want to remind you there's a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out. It's a great crypto community, guys, and let's get on with it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Always do your own research. There's a disclaimer scrolling on the bottom. Make sure you read it. And remember, this is my opinion, not yours. All right, so let's take a look at the news headlines. And we're going to talk about, are we in a blow off top? Are we going to go down from here? Do we have one more leg up? Are we going to break the 10.5? We'll talk about that and see what the possibilities are. Let's get a feel for the sentiment. Get set for Bitcoin halving. Here's what it means. That one's back from April. Bitcoin price spike as halving approaches. Miners in Europe gear up for Bitcoin halving. Bitcoin outlives first website declared it dead, has tons of websites declared it dead. Crypto market grows by 13 billion as Bitcoin breaks the $10,000 range. Cryptocurrency market jumps by 13 billion, driven by the Paul Tudor. If you guys haven't heard about that, check it out. Open positions on Bitcoin options past 1 billion for the first time. Bitcoin exchange traded product is now trading. Bitcoin emerges markets in Latin America. So not really too crazy a news, but it is more bullish than bearish. Now let's look at the crypto fear and greed index. And we are at 56. We raised 1 point from yesterday. We are still in the greed. Let's look at the monthly. So on the monthly chart here, as you guys know, if you've been watching the channel, and if not, we have these two trend lines here. Depending on where we close on the monthly, if we close above it, that is bullish. If we close in the center, that's going to be neutral. If we close below the 85.50, that's going to be bearish in my opinion. We do have the 8 EMA sitting around the 8,400 right now. 55 that I still believe there's a good possibility we come down and test it. Right now is around the 5,100. Obviously it moves up slowly as we go, so depending on how long, if we do go test it, will depend on where it's at. Let's look at the weekly. And for you guys that have not watched the channel, we take a look at both the bullish and the bearish case scenario. It's up to you to make up your mind and learn where the pivot points are, where you make your decisions. So we are going to look at, we'll get the RSI out of the way. We'll take a look at that in a second. So we've been looking at this in yellow as a falling broadening wedge, which is a bullish pattern. And if we were to, which we did break that, if we're able to hold above it, keep in mind we have to break that. It's around 10,550 range. If we break that and close a daily over that, my target's around the $16,000 range. And that's if we, like I said, if we remain above this falling broadening wedge and do not go back inside it. Also, we would have to breach the 10,550 to go up to that. I do have lower targets down here. Around the 45 to 4,600 would be retesting this yellow trend line on the bottom from back here in 2017. I also have the white thicker line on the bottom, which makes this look like a big triangle here, and that is back from 2016. If we were to come back and test that area, it'd be around the 2850. And guys, I'm not saying we're going this low, I'm just giving you your possibilities. And this bottom trend line on this falling broadening wedge, if we were to retest that again, that's the infamous $1,000 Bitcoin that people they talk about it whenever we go down a little bit, and then they quit talking about it and they start talking about $1 million Bitcoin when we have a $500 pump. So yeah, just hype channels, guys. Be aware of what's really going on. Don't get too crazy. We will take a look at the very bullish case scenario. Like I said, if we break this 10.5, my target would be around the $16,000 zone. But if we took a measured move off of this big triangle, say we broke above this today and continued on from there, which I highly doubt, but never know, we'd be looking at around a $30,000 Bitcoin, maybe possibly by the end of the year or by the end of next year. But Like, again, until we break this top line and close the daily above it, none of that is looking likely as of yet. I want to remind you too, this is my wife's webpage, inkyourimage.com. She makes these t-shirts. You can see what she has on here. She can put anything you want, any coin you want on any of this stuff. Definitely check it out. It helps support the channel, guys. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think is going on with Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at the daily now. Go back to the weekly. We did not look at the RSI. I do want to do that. We talked about this falling channel, and if we have a close above this on the weekly, which closes tomorrow, I think it'd be pretty damn bullish if we close outside of here. Even if we do, I think we come back down and test it before continuing up. But remember, the RSI follows the body of the candle, so we can still close down inside this channel. If we do, guys, that's going to be very bearish for me. I think we'll be coming back down to test this white trend line. Let's look at the daily. All right, so we're going to take a look at some measured moves here, then we'll take a look at the RSI. If we look at the EMAs here, obviously they're very bullish, and it does look like the 55 is going to cross the 200 within probably by, I don't think that would happen tomorrow, by the beginning of next week. But that's a very bullish sign, but keep in mind a lot of times that's a fake out, and when it comes to the cross, we have a huge drop. So this target up here, we had it obviously moves up by the day because I'll show you why. Looking at this rising broadening wedge that we broke down from here, coming to retest the bottom of that trend line. If we would have hit yesterday, would have been around 10,180. That was the area I was talking about. And right now it's around the 10,225 area, right in there. If we were to get a bump up today. Now, if it was tomorrow, it's going to be even higher, around the 10,260. So if we do get a bump up, one more leg up today, we could be looking at that $10,225 range. If that breaks, then as you guys know, the next target's at 10.5 area. If we break that 10,550 and close the daily above that, again, we're really bullish. But I still don't think that's going to happen. Let's take a look at this. People are looking at this as a bull flag, although I don't consider it one because of how it formed. I would have expected a touch on the bottom, touch on the top, bottom, top, before A, B, C, D, E. But we will still take a measured move off that. If this is the case, I would be expecting us to come down and at least retest the bottom of this, which would probably line up with the 8 EMA on the daily. Now I'm right around the $93.80 to $9,400 range. If we get a nice bounce there, we could be going up for our next test of this bottom trend line that I'm talking about. If we break that 83.80 or 93.80 to 9,400, if we break that, our next stop is going to be around this 1,300 EMA, which is around the $9,000 range. And if that breaks, we have the, hold on a second. If that breaks, we have the 86.25 range, which is the 0.236 Fibonacci retracement of the swing low to the swing high here. That would be our first retracement. If that was to break, which I think it's going to, I think eventually we're going to break out of this rising channel here. We also have major support at 85. If that 85 breaks, the next stop is the 0.382 fib, which is at 7,700. But if we look at this and take a measured move of the falling channel, if we fall out of that falling channel, let's take a look at where the measured move would, and all depends on where we would say we broke it around the 7,700. We're looking around the $6,200 range, guys, and that is the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement, which is a golden pocket area. Again, these will move. If we come up to the 10.5, then we'll have to move our swing high. But as of right now, this is what I'm looking at. Still looking for at least to come down to here. I believe we're going to retrace to this area. I still have my main target at 54.17. I still think there's a it's highly likely that we come down and test this. I know that's super bearish. People are thinking the halving, it's never going to happen. This is just my opinion. Remember that. But I still think we're going to come down to this area, in my opinion, unless we break that 10,550. Then it changes. But as of right now, that's still what I'm looking at, guys. Let's look at the RSI. So looking at the RSI, We had this falling broadening wedge. We popped out of here, retested it, and now we are in a rising broadening wedge, in my opinion, which is within this rising channel. It does look like we're most likely going to come back down and retest this. Again, my opinion. We could come back up. If we do go test that 10.5, that could be around the top of this channel up here. There is bearish divergence here in the daily, and I will show you that. If you look right here, we're getting, let me make that bigger so you guys can see it. So as you can see, we're making higher highs in the RSI, and we go up to this peak here, we're making lower highs in the price action. Even if we get up to that 10,226, it will still be a lower high, still be divergence. So that's looking pretty bearish to me right there, guys. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. If we did break this rising broadening wedge, which would probably be the bottom of this channel here, then we would come back down and test the bottom of this, and that's where I think we would get into these areas. So let's look at the 4-hour. 4-hour EMAs are kind of turning bearish. If we can break back above and close above the 97.40, close it, open and close a 4-hour above that, then we're most likely headed to that 2,500. But like I said, I'm looking for a retest of the top of this triangle, at least at 93.80, and we talked about what would happen if that fell down below that. Let's talk about the higher targets now. If we were to break this upper channel, let me put this over here. If we were to break this top and break that 10.5, the measured move of breaking this channel here would be around 12,600. So again, guys, unless we break this 10,550 range, I don't see us continuing up from here. Although if we look at the RSI here, we are in a rising wedge, and it does look like we need to come back down and test the bottom of this. We fell out of this rising broadening wedge here. So if we look at the RSI, if it came down to retest here, that would be around that 9,400, 93.80 to 9,400. If we get a nice bounce, we could come back up, retest the top of this. That could get us up to that 225. But again, if this breaks, guys, I'm looking for around the 9,000, then 8,800, then 8,600. And if that breaks, like I said, we already talked about that. But again, guys, I'm still bearish, totally bearish, unless we break that 10,550 and close the daily above it. But if we break the bottom of this rising wedge here, that's pretty damn bearish. That's getting us back down into these lower targets that we were talking about. Let's take a look at Litecoin. Same thing, rising channel here. We're in a falling channel here. The measured move, if we break the top of this falling channel, which as of right now is around the $49 range, 54 would be the top of this channel, and then I would expect a retracement back down to at least the 44.83. And if that breaks, which I do believe it would, gets us back down to this between the $30 and $35 range. The $35 range is the 0.618 fib of the retracement of this move. But if we were to, get back up to this, this is the 0.5 fib right here of this bigger swing high to swing low. That would be around the $55 range. Which would also still get up to the top of this rising channel. But if we were to break the bottom of it, like I said, around the 4,400, we will have a bounce, at least a bounce here at the $41 range has been major support and resistance. But I would be looking, let me put this back down to where we're at now. As long as this is the high that we're at, these white numbers too, even through the video, are just Fibonacci retracements of this move, guys. I want to remind you, I'm going to leave a Prime XBT tutorial up top. If you're interested in leverage trading, definitely check it out. You can trade derivatives on commodities, like as in oil, gold, silver, whatnot. You can trade a lot more on Prime XBT than anything else. Definitely check it out if you're interested in trading. I do have promo codes down below. Savy50 gets you 50% bonus on top of whatever you deposit, up to 1 Bitcoin. Also, Savy25 gets you 25% off your trading fees. I also use Dudex and Prime or Bybit. I do have those down below too, and both of those have bonuses for signing up. Definitely check them out. I do get a small commission for you guys using them, but if you're going to trade anyway, I'd appreciate it if you used mine. Anyways, that's what I'm looking at, guys, around this between $30 and $35 range as a retracement if we've reached our high here. These move up a little bit if we come up to that 54 and get rejected. Otherwise, if Bitcoin breaks the 10.55, then then we're looking at these higher highs. If we looked at a measured move of the break up from this rising channel, it would be about 65, and we would have to break the 55. If we break the 55, the 0.618 is around 61.77, and then the $65. The highest I would see us going is the 0.786 at 71.75. Let's look at the RSI. So the RSI of this falling channel, we had a rising channel within it, broke down out of it, came back, tested it, got rejected. I believe we're headed back down to test the bottom of this again, which will be, like I said, these lower lows. Let's look at Ethereum. Same thing, rising channel. Let's take a look at the bearish. If we were to come down and break this 0.236, most likely headed down to the golden pocket zone around the 142 range. We also have the 0.786 at the 119. Let's look at the RSI. RSI, we have been playing with this bottom trend line of this rising channel here. As of right now, we are back up above it. It does possibly look like this would make me a little more bullish on everything in the short term, guys, not in the long term. Let's take a look. This could be an inverse head and shoulders forming here. And if that's the case, we come back up for one more test high, and I'll show you what I believe that would take us to. And that would be looking at this falling wedge here. If we did a measured move of it to where we broke out, that'd get us up to around that $230 range, which is confluent with this support and resistance over here. So if we do get the one more leg up to the 10,250, I believe Ethereum will reach around the $230 range, which would retest this top trend line. Litecoin, I would be looking for the $55 range, 51 to 55, if Bitcoin goes up for that one more leg. So yeah, that's what I am seeing as of now. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel by clicking the CryptoSavy logo above my head. Hit that like button. Leave your comments down below. Sorry it was kind of all over the place. It is Saturday. I got a lot of stuff to do. Just wanted to squeeze a video in for you guys. I appreciate you stopping in. Take it easy. Have a great day.